Okay, Nitro RC World here. I'm going to talk about this plastic receiver wire protector that I've made. See this piece of plastic here? It's an RPM receiver box that I've mounted on here. It's been on there for quite a while, but I'm going to show it to you now. But the way I've mounted, the way I put this on there to protect this receiver wire here, I put this plastic plate, this little piece of plastic on here. So take this off here and I'll show you. This little plastic protector that I put on here. And then this little screw here. You generally want to use 2 screws so it can't pivot. So one there and one here. You can see I got this little plastic piece here that I put on here, and I'm showing you the full screw that I put in there. Started with the X-Acto knife right on the edge here, so it's going in the edge of this RPM, going right in the edge of this, the very edge of this RPM receiver box. And there's foam in there, so the receiver isn't going to be hitting on it, or it's not going to be doing any damage. And I'm also going to be cutting the tip off of this. I'm going to be cutting the tip off of that, but I just want to show you. You want to start out with this full screw so you can get it tapped in there, and then you can cut that off of there. Then you can cut this off of here, because you're not going to need nearly that much, so you can cut a good 3/16 off of there. Take some sandpaper, round that off. Round that off with some sandpaper so it doesn't, so the receiver's not going to be hitting on there. But I've got plenty of foam in here where the receiver comes down onto it. It's not going to be hitting anything. But you got to make sure that this is all rounded off, even if there's a remote chance that that your receiver can come down and hit on this. So round that all off. And this plastic piece goes in there, See how this goes in there. And then you put this screw in there. Right on the very edge of this. Tap that in there. Get that right on the very edge of this. With your X-Acto. Get it started right on the edge of that. Even though you got plenty of foam in here, like I have, you may not have plenty of foam, but I've got plenty of foam in there. From the bottom up to here, there's foam. But I've cut that screw down anyway and rounded it off, so your receiver box is not going to be damaged by that screw. You got to have, generally, 2 screws. One here, one someplace else to keep it from pivoting. So once you have a couple of screws in there, and you know that's going to be stable and it's not going to be pivoting and moving around. So you can see that I've got this plastic piece, this piece of plastic here, protecting my receiver wire. See, so anything coming up can't hit this receiver wire. You want to protect that. So that's why I'm showing you this plastic piece that I made here. I want to protect that receiver wire. It's the RPM box. I put my receiver over here in an RPM box, mounted on here. My battery box over here, tank. That's how I've set this up. And you want to carve this out of here. See that slot I've got carved in there for the receiver wire? That slot I've got carved in there for this receiver wire into the RPM antenna mount. I carved a slot in there so antenna wire comes down and goes through that like tunnel, that slot there, so it can stay close to the box. I've got this post here that I've mounted on here. See that bolt down in there? This is a A-arm, an old A-arm that I've used for kind of like a wiring harness to put my wires on for my throttle servo, steering servo, receiver. Wrapped it around here, and I can just plug it in there. That's how I do it. And then this mounts on here. See, I've got this post here where all my wires wrap around. This post is made out of an old A-arm. I've got that screwed into this shock mount. So that's how I do mine. Fires your own way. All right. Above all, enjoy the drive.